Good evening. Welcome to my PowerPoint presentation on Oscar Claude Monet, the French Impressionist painter from the 1800s and 1900s. Oscar Claude Monet, or Oscar Claude Monet, I should say, more commonly referred to as Claude Monet, was born November 14th in 1840 in Rue Lafitte, Paris, France. He later died at the age of 86 on December 5, 1926 in Giverny, France. He was buried in the Giverny Church Cemetery in France, and he died due to lung cancer. His primary style of painting was the French Impressionist style, which also had many other practitioners at his time. And the period of artwork that he was painting during was that of both the Impressionist movement and later the modern movement towards the end of his life. And his preferred mediums were oil paints and blank canvases, as seen in most of his works, especially those later on in his life. Due to his painting, the Impression sunrise, that's actually where the term Impressionism was coined. And Impressionism is the style of painting spontaneously and allowing your brush to lead itself instead of leading it. And because of this, Impressionist paintings are usually landscapes of some kind, whether that be a mountain or plains, or scenes of everyday hustle and bustle in the city, people simply living out their lives. These are a few artists with similar styles to Monet, all of them being quite prominent in their own right. Edouard Manet, Edgar Degas, as well as Camille Pissarro, all of which lived at some point in Monet's life. This is a little bit of information about Monet. Eugene Boudin inspired Monet to leave behind what his current style of art at the age of 15, that being caricatures, of which he was rather good at for being as young as he was. But instead, Boudin took him under his wing and taught him how to paint Impressionist style, and that eventually led to him being the famous Impressionist painter that we know him as today. And later in his life, over a period of 30 years, starting in 1893, when he acquired his garden in Giverny, he had painted 250 different water lily paintings, all of them being slightly different or depicting different scenes or patterns of his water lilies. And to prepare for each of these individual paintings, he had a gardener that would move through his entire garden, of which it was quite large and even had a small river running through it, and he would have his gardener hand clean each and every one of his lilies before he would paint another piece. He did this before every piece that involved water lilies. This is one of his paintings, the Water Lily Pond Bridge, aka a Japanese bridge. I'm not 100% sure if this title is accurate. I found multiple conflicting sources, so I went with the one that seemed the most reputable. It was painted in 1899, and like most of his other works, was done with oil paints on a canvas. It's rather large for a painting of oil. It's rather beautiful as well. It's probably one of, if not his favorite, or if not my favorite of his. Yeah, very pretty. This is the Rowan Cathedral, the Portal Sunlight. And this was done in 1894 on oil on canvas, of course. This was part of 30 different iterations of the same cathedral, the Rowan Cathedral, all done at different angles and different times of day to capture different aspects of the architecture and bring out different individual parts of the cathedral front. I believe this was one of the earlier paintings that he did. I believe that he did these from 1894 to 1897. I could be wrong about that. But it was definitely a very nice piece. And last is the Parc Monceau, done in 1878. Again, oil on canvas, like all of his other works, but this, instead of a landscape, or in the odd case, a piece of architecture, this was more people simply going about their day at the park. And I really appreciate how peaceful this entire scene is. It's beautiful in a way that most other Impressionist paintings simply aren't, because it's not trying too hard without it's not trying too hard to look peaceful, and that gives it a sense of peace all on its own that I feel like a lot of other like lifestyle Impressionist paintings don't tend to have. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure how to explain it, but I really like this piece and how peaceful it is.